There seems to be an issue with your access level, Mr. Johnson.
My credentials are valid. Please check again.
Your attitude is becoming a liability, Jenkins. I expect full compliance on this, not debate. Get it done by close of business.
The guard said, without looking up. Malik handed it over. The guard scanned it once. Then again. "Ha!" the guard muttered. "What?" Malik asked. The guard tilted his head. "System's acting weird. Says you're flagged." Malik's stomach tightened. "Flagged how?" Before the guard could answer, a voice cut in. "What's the delay?" Richard, the floor manager. Tall. Stiff. Already annoyed. "He's flagged," the guard said. Richard looked Malik up and down. Slow. Careful. Like he was deciding something. "That explains a lot," Richard said. Malik frowned. "Explains what?" Richard smiled, thin and sharp. "Your attitude." "I just got here," Malik said. Richard stepped closer. "Too close. You people always think the rules bend for you," Richard said quietly. "They don't." The guard froze. Pretended not to hear. Malik felt heat rise in his chest. He kept his voice even. "I haven't done anything," Malik said. Richard leaned in, voice low but deadly clear. "Careful," he said. "This job is a privilege. And privileges can be taken." The guard slid the badge back across the desk. His hand shook. Richard didn't break eye contact. "Come to my office," he said. "Now." Malik followed, every step heavy. He didn't know this walk would cost him his job. And Richard had no idea who he was about to fire. The lobby smelled like lemon cleaner and cold air. Malik stood at the front desk with his badge in his hand. The plastic was cracked at the corner. He had meant to replace it. Rent came first. Always rent. "Problem?" the manager asked. His name tag said Richard. White letters. Sharp edges. He did not look up from the screen. "No," Malik said. "I'm clocked in." Richard finally looked. His eyes paused. Just a second too long. "You're late," Richard said. "I'm not," Malik said. "I got here 10 minutes early." Richard smiled without warmth. "That's not what the system says." Malik leaned closer. The screen was angled away from him. "Can I see it?" Richard's smile tightened. "What's your tone?" The words landed heavy. "Tone." Malik felt his shoulders stiffen. "I'm calm," Malik said. "I'm just asking." Richard stood. He was taller than Malik by a few inches. He stepped close enough that Malik could smell coffee on his breath. "You always have something to say," Richard said. "That's your problem." A woman waiting near the elevators looked over. She looked away fast. "I do my job," Malik said. "That's debatable." Richard tapped the desk. "Once. Twice. Follow me," he said. They walked past the glass offices. Phones rang. Keyboards clicked. No one looked up. Malik felt invisible and exposed at the same time. Inside the small office, Richard shut the door. "You have an attitude," Richard said. Malik blinked. "What?" "Don't play dumb," Richard said. "You question everything. You push back." "I ask when something's wrong," Malik said. Richard leaned against the desk. "In this company, we respect authority." The word authority echoed in Malik's chest. "So I'm in trouble for speaking?" Malik asked. "You're in trouble for how you speak," Richard said. "There's a difference." Malik felt heat rise in his face. He kept his hands at his sides. "I haven't been rude," he said. Richard laughed softly. "See? That right there." Malik swallowed. "This job matters to me," Malik said. "I need it." Richard's eyes flicked to Malik's worn shoes. "Then you should learn your place." Silence stretched. Malik thought of his father's voice. "Stay calm. Don't give them a reason." "I'm trying," Malik said. Richard straightened. "I don't think you're a good fit." Malik's heart thumped. "What does that mean?" "It means," Richard said, "I'm letting you go." The words felt unreal. "For attitude," Richard added. Malik stared at him. "You're firing me." "Effective immediately." Malik's mouth went dry. "I've never been written up." Richard shrugged. "There's a first time for everything." "This isn't fair," Malik said. Richard opened the door. "Life isn't." Outside, the office noise rushed back in. Richard raised his voice just enough. "Turn in your badge." Eyes turned. Whispers started. Malik held the badge tighter. "I didn't do anything wrong," he said. Richard's eyes hardened. "Do not make a scene." Malik felt the weight of every stare. "I want HR," Malik said. Richard stepped closer. HR already knows. That was a lie. Malik felt it. You should leave before security helps you, Richard said. Security. The word sliced. Malik placed the badge on the desk. His fingers shook. I'll be back, Malik said. Richard smiled again. I doubt that. Malik walked out. The doors slid shut behind him. In the elevator, his phone buzzed. A message preview lit the screen. Board meeting moved up. Be on standby. Malik stared at it as the elevator dropped. Richard had no idea who he had just fired. The sidewalk outside the building felt wider than it ever had. Malik stood near the curb with his hands in his pockets, watching employees stream past the glass doors. No one met his eyes. A few glanced at him, then looked away fast, like guilt was contagious. His phone buzzed again. He didn't open the message. Not yet. The security guard from earlier stepped outside. Younger. Nervous eyes. Hey, the guard said. You can't stay here. Malik looked at him. I'm not causing trouble. I know, the guard said quickly. It's just orders. From who? Malik asked. The guard hesitated. Management. Richard. Malik nodded slowly. Can I at least get my things? The guard shifted his weight. HR said they'll mail them. Malik let out a short laugh. HR didn't talk to me. The guard lowered his voice. They said you were difficult. Malik felt the word land. Heavy. Familiar. Difficult how? Malik asked. The guard didn't answer. He rubbed the back of his neck. You should leave before this gets worse. Worse. Malik stepped back from the building. Cars rushed past. The city didn't care. He finally opened the message. Board meeting moved up. Be on standby. D. Malik's jaw tightened. He typed back, then stopped. Deleted it. Inside the building, Richard was already talking. HR sat across from him in a small conference room. Two women, both quiet. He was confrontational, Richard said. Wouldn't accept feedback. One of them nodded. Did you document it? Richard waved a hand. It was ongoing. Any written warnings? The other asked. Richard smiled. We don't always have time for paperwork. The first woman hesitated. He asked for HR. Richard leaned back. After the decision was made. Did he threaten anyone? The second asked. No, Richard said. But I felt unsafe. The word hung in the air. The women exchanged a look. One typed something into her laptop. Outside, Malik sat on a bench across the street. He watched his reflection in the dark glass. He looked calm. Too calm. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Hello. Is this Malik Carter? A woman asked. Yes. This is Denise from Human Resources. Malik closed his eyes. I didn't speak to HR. I know, Denise said. That's why I'm calling. Malik straightened. Then you know I was fired without cause. There was a pause. Your manager reported repeated issues with tone. Malik exhaled slowly. What does that mean? It means, Denise said carefully, you were perceived as resistant. I asked questions, Malik said. Sometimes questions feel challenging, Denise replied. Challenging to who? Malik asked. Silence. We're reviewing the situation, Denise said. But the termination stands for now. For now, Malik repeated. You'll receive an email, Denise said. Please don't return to the premises. Malik looked at the building. I worked there for 3 years. And we appreciate that, Denise said. But culture matters. Culture. Is this about my work? Malik asked. No one questioned your performance, Denise said quickly. Then what is it about? Malik asked. Another pause. Perception, Denise said. The call ended. Malik sat still. His chest felt tight, like something was pressing down from the inside. A woman from accounting walked past. She slowed. I'm sorry, she whispered, barely moving her lips. For what? Malik asked. She glanced toward the building. They're saying you were aggressive. Malik felt a cold spread through him. Did I ever raise my voice? She shook her head. No. But, you know how it is. He did. You should be careful, she added. Richard's telling security to watch you. Malik stood. Watch me do what? She didn't answer. She walked away. Malik's phone buzzed again. A new message. They fired you. Call me. Now. D. Malik stayed at the screen. Across the street, he saw Richard through the glass, laughing with someone. Relaxed. Untouched. Malik typed a reply. I'm calling. He looked back at the building one last time. They thought this was over. It wasn't. Malik returned the next morning anyway. Not inside. Not past the doors. He stood across the street with a coffee he didn't drink, watching the building wake up. Employees arrived in pairs. Some laughed. Some checked their phones. All of them walked faster when they noticed him. His phone buzzed. Did you sleep? D. Not much, Malik said when he called. Good, Darius replied. Means you're awake. Malik watched Richard step out of a black sedan. Confident. Untouched. They are circling, Darius said. HR already sent me a concern email. For what? Malik asked. For your behavior, Darius said. Funny thing is, they didn't name it. Malik nodded. They never do. A woman from marketing crossed the street toward him. She slowed. Hesitated. Hey, she said softly. Hey, Malik replied. She kept her eyes on the ground. I heard what happened. So did everyone, Malik said. She swallowed. They are telling people not to talk about it. Malik's chest tightened. Who is? Management, she said. HR sent a reminder about professional boundaries. Meaning silence, Malik said. She nodded. Richard said you were unstable. Malik stared at her. Did I ever act unstable? No, she said quickly. You were always calm. That's what scared him. Scared him? Malik asked. She looked up for the first time. You didn't flinch. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it and stepped back. I shouldn't be talking, she said. I'm sorry. She walked away fast. Malik felt something settle in his gut. Not anger. Something colder. Inside the building, a meeting had already started. Richard stood at the front of the room. 10 employees sat around the table. No one spoke. We need to be clear, Richard said. What happened yesterday was handled. A hand rose halfway. Then dropped. This company values respect, Richard continued. If anyone feels unsafe, they should come to management. Someone cleared their throat. Malik wasn't. Richard turned. This isn't a discussion. The room went quiet. Loose talk creates problems, Richard said. For everyone. A man at the table nodded. Too quickly. Outside, Malik's phone rang again. Unknown number. Hello. Mr. Carter, a man said. This is corporate security. Malik straightened. Why are you calling me? We've received reports that you've been lingering near the property. I'm on a public sidewalk, Malik said. Yes, the man replied. But your presence is making employees uncomfortable. Malik laughed once. Sharp. So now I'm a threat. We're asking you to move along, the man said. For everyone's safety. For whose safety? Malik asked. Silence. Failure to comply may result in further action, the man added. Malik looked at the building. At the cameras. At the guards by the door. Is this a request, Malik said, or an order? It's a courtesy, the man replied. Malik ended the call. His hands were shaking now. He shoved them into his pockets. A security guard approached. Not the same one as yesterday. Older. Tired eyes. Sir, the guard said. You need to go. I worked here, Malik said. Not anymore, the guard replied. I don't make the rules. I know, Malik said. Who does? The guard looked past him. Please. Malik stepped back. Across the street, a man had been filming on his phone. Mid-30s. Hoodie. Quiet. You got that? Malik asked. The man nodded. Everything. Why? Malik asked. The man shrugged. My brother lost his job like this. What happened? Malik asked. They said he was hard to manage, the man said. No proof. No warning. Malik felt a weight in his chest. Did he fight it? The man shook his head. Couldn't afford to. A car horn blared. Someone yelled for Malik to move. Inside the building, Richard watched through the glass. His jaw tightened. Security, he said into his phone. Make sure he's gone. The man filming lowered his phone. You should leave, he said, before they flip the story. They already did, Malik said. His phone buzzed again. We need to talk. In person. Tonight. D. Malik typed back. They are trying to erase me. A reply came fast. Let them. It makes what comes next louder. Malik slipped his phone away and walked down the block. Behind him, the doors slid shut. Inside, Richard exhaled. He thought silence meant control. He didn't know silence was about to break. Richard didn't like loose ends. They bothered him the way a stain bothered a clean shirt. Small. Annoying. Impossible to ignore once seen. He sat alone in his office after hours, jacket off, sleeves rolled. The building was quiet now. Safe. He opened Malik's employee file again. Performance reviews, solid. No warnings. No complaints. Richard frowned. That's not right, he muttered. He clicked deeper. Attendance. Clean. Projects. On time. Too clean. Richard picked up his phone. Run a deeper check, he said when the line connected. I want everything. On the other side of the city, Malik sat at a small kitchen table. The lights were low. His coffee had gone cold again. Darius sat across from him, elbows on the table. They are digging, Darius said. Malik nodded. I can feel it. They think fear will make you disappear, Darius said. Or slip. Malik stared at his hands. I won't. Good, Darius said. Because Richard already called legal. Malik looked up. For what? Framing, Darius said. He wants this to look justified. Malik let out a slow breath. So now I'm a risk. You always were, Darius said gently. To him. Across town, Richard scrolled through a private database. Education. Address history. Credit. Nothing alarming. Come on, Richard said. He clicked again. Family. The screen froze for a second. Then loaded. Richard leaned closer. Malik's last name appeared again. Linked to an older entry. Richard squinted. That's strange. He copied the name into a new search window. The results loaded slowly. Too slowly. Richard's jaw tightened. At the table, Malik's phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered. Hello. Mr. Carter, a woman said. This is Elaine from Corporate Compliance. Malik stiffened. Why are you calling me? We have a few questions about your employment history, Elaine said. Routine. After I was fired? Malik asked. Yes, she said. It helps us close the file. What file? Malik asked. Elaine paused. Your case. Malik looked at Darius. Am I accused of something? No, Elaine said quickly. We're just clarifying. Clarifying what? Malik asked. Your background, Elaine said. Some details need confirmation. What details? Malik asked. Elaine hesitated. Your family connections. The room went still. My family. Malik said. Yes, Elaine replied. There appears to be overlap with company leadership. Darius's eyes sharpened. Overlap how? Malik asked. I can't discuss specifics over the phone, Elaine said. But it's important you don't engage publicly until this is resolved. So I should stay quiet, Malik said. For your own protection, Elaine said. The call ended. Malik lowered the phone slowly. They know, Darius said. Not yet, Malik replied. They are guessing. Back in his office, Richard stared at the screen. The name matched. Not close. Exact. His mouth went dry. No, he whispered. He refreshed the page. Same result. Malik Carter. Board Registry, Carter Holdings. Founder, Samuel Carter. Richard's heart started to pound. That's not possible, he said. He grabbed his phone. Legal, he snapped when someone answered. I need confirmation. Now. Minutes passed. Richard paced. He replayed the conversation. The questions. The calm. The way Malik hadn't begged. The phone rang. It's real, the lawyer said. But it's complicated. How? Richard demanded. Malik isn't listed as an executive, the lawyer said. But the relation is verified. Richard sank into his chair. He didn't tell anyone, the lawyer added. Richard swallowed. Does he have authority? Not formally, the lawyer said. But his access. Richard hung up. His chest felt tight. Angry. Cornered. They set me up, he muttered. Across the table, Malik finally spoke. They are going to say this was a misunderstanding, he said. Darius nodded. And they'll say your silence proves it. I won't let them, Malik said. Darius leaned back. Then get ready. Because when they realize who you are, they'll change tactics. Inside the building, Richard opened his email. A new message waited at the top. Mandatory executive review. Attendance required. Time stamp, tomorrow morning. Richard stared at it. For the first time, fear crept in. Not fear of Malik. Fear of what Malik represented. He closed his laptop slowly. Somewhere across the city, Malik stood by the window and looked out at the lights. They were done pretending he was nothing. And Richard was done pretending this was just about attitude. The boardroom sat on the top floor, quiet and sealed off from the rest of the building. Malik stood outside the glass doors, his reflection faint against the city skyline. He wore the same jacket from the day he was fired. Clean. Simple. Nothing that gave him away. A woman with a tablet approached. Mid-40s. Sharp eyes. "Mr. Carter," she said. "They are ready for you." Inside, the room was long and cold. Dark wood table. Leather chairs. Names etched into metal plates along the wall. Founders. Donors. Power. Richard sat halfway down the table. His posture was stiff. His hands were folded too tightly. He looked up. His face drained of color. Malik met his eyes. Calm. Steady. Richard looked away first. "Thank you for coming on short notice," said the chairwoman at the head of the table. Gray hair. Even voice. "Please, sit." Malik took the empty seat across from Richard. The chairwoman folded her hands. "This meeting concerns a termination that occurred 48 hours ago." Richard cleared his throat. "I've already explained." "You will speak when asked," she said. The room went still. She turned to Malik. "You were dismissed for attitude. Is that correct?" "Yes," Malik said. "And did anyone define that term?" she asked. "No," Malik replied. Richard shifted in his seat. The chairwoman nodded. "Tell us what happened." Malik spoke plainly. No rush. No emotion in his voice, but every word carried weight. He described the front desk. The comment. The office. The word tone. The threat of security. Several board members took notes. Richard's jaw tightened. "Did you raise your voice?" the chairwoman asked. "No." "Did you refuse a task?" "No." "Did you break policy?" "No." Silence followed. The chairwoman turned to Richard. "Your response?" Richard leaned forward. He was confrontational. Disruptive. "In what way?" she asked. "He challenged authority," Richard said. Repeatedly. Malik felt the room shift. "Authority," the chairwoman repeated. "Explain." Richard hesitated. He questioned decisions. "That undermines leadership." "Questioning is not misconduct," another board member said. Richard's face flushed. "It affects morale." "Whose?" the chairwoman asked. Richard opened his mouth. Closed it. Malik's eyes drifted to the wall. The names were engraved deep into the metal. Carter. 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 The chairwoman followed his gaze. "Mr. Carter," she said. "For the record, are you related to Samuel Carter?" "Yes," Malik said. Richard stiffened. The room murmured. "And why didn't you disclose that?" one member asked. Malik looked back at them. "Because I didn't want it to matter." Silence again. The chairwoman nodded slowly. "That answer matters." Richard stood. "This is unfair. If I had known." "That's the point," she said sharply. "You didn't." Richard swallowed. He withheld information. "He withheld privilege," she corrected. "There's a difference." Malik sat still. His chest felt tight, but he didn't move. "Richard," the chairwoman said, "did you treat Mr. Carter the same way you would have treated him if you knew who his father was?" Richard didn't answer. "Richard," she repeated. "No," he said quietly. The word landed hard. A board member leaned forward. So his dismissal was influenced by perception. Richard's voice cracked. "I did what I thought was right." "For whom?" the chairwoman asked. Richard's eyes flicked to Malik. Then down. The chairwoman exhaled. "This company was built on accountability." She turned to Malik. "This process doesn't erase what happened to you." Malik nodded. "I know." "It will address it," she said. Richard's phone buzzed on the table. He ignored it. "We will be reviewing your conduct," the chairwoman said to him. "Effective immediately." Richard looked up, panic breaking through. "You can't." "We can," she said. "And we will." Malik stood when the chairwoman did. The meeting was over. As Malik walked toward the doors, Richard spoke. "You could have stopped this," Richard said. "You let it happen." Malik turned. "I didn't make you treat me that way," he said. "I just didn't protect you from yourself." The doors closed behind him. Outside, the hallway felt lighter. Malik paused by the wall of names one last time. His name wasn't there. Not yet. Behind him, the boardroom filled with voices again. This time, they weren't whispering. The emails started moving before the sun came up. Malik saw the first one while sitting at his kitchen table, the city still dark outside his window. His phone vibrated softly, then again, then again. He opened his laptop. Subject line, internal review, immediate action required. The sender wasn't HR. It was legal. Malik read slowly. Every word felt measured. Careful. Defensive. "We are conducting a formal review of recent management decisions. Employee termination procedures." Potential deviations from company policy. Potential. Malik leaned back in his chair. They still didn't want to name it. Across town, Richard stared at the same email on his office computer. His coffee sat untouched beside the keyboard. "This is getting out of hand," he muttered. Another email arrived. Then another. HR compliance. Corporate security. Different senders. Same tone. Concerned. Neutral. Distant. Richard typed fast. "This situation is being exaggerated. No malicious intent was present. We should avoid language that implies bias." He hit send. The reply came quicker than he expected. "Intent is not the standard. Impact is." Richard's jaw tightened. In Malik's inbox, a new thread appeared. Witness statements, requested. Names followed. People he knew. People who had looked away. His phone rang. It was the woman from accounting. "I got an email," she said quietly. "So did I," Malik replied. "They want a statement," she said. "About Richard." Malik closed his eyes. "What are you going to say?" There was a long pause. "I'm scared," she admitted. "I know," Malik said. "They asked if I ever felt pressured to stay silent," she said. "I didn't answer yet." Malik pictured her desk. The plant by the window. The way she always packed up last. "Tell the truth," he said. "Whatever that is." She inhaled. "If I do this, I can't take it back." "I won't ask you to," Malik said. The call ended. Inside the building, Richard stood in the hallway outside HR. Voices leaked through the door. Pattern of behavior. Not isolated. Language used repeatedly. Richard pushed the door open. "This is a witch hunt," he said. The room went quiet. Denise from HR looked up. "Please step back outside." "I'm the manager," Richard snapped. "And you're under review," Denise replied. "Those are different roles." Richard's phone buzzed again. New message, board liaison. He didn't open it. Across the office floor, employees whispered. Laptops closed. Eyes followed him. A man from IT avoided his gaze. Richard felt something shift. Fear. Not the sharp kind. The slow kind. At Malik's apartment, Darius paced the room. "They are unraveling," Darius said. "You can feel it." "They are still protecting the company," Malik replied. "Not people." "Yet," Darius said. Malik scrolled through another email. A subject line caught his eye. Bodycam footage, request approved. He stopped breathing for a second. Richard hadn't known about the camera at the front desk. Malik remembered the guards shaking hands. The pause. The look. His phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. "I saw what he did. I'm ready to talk." Malik typed back. "Are you sure?" 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Then appeared again. "Yes. He told me to write you up months ago. I refused." Malik felt his chest tighten. Another email came in. Mandatory staff interviews begin today. Attendance required. Across the building, Richard sat alone at his desk. He opened the board liaison's message at last. "Your presence is requested at 3 p.m. Failure to attend will be noted." Richard leaned back in his chair. The office felt smaller now. The walls closer. He thought of Malik's calm voice. The way he hadn't argued. He thought of the word tone. In Malik's inbox, one final message arrived. "We have enough to proceed. Do not engage publicly. We will handle the rest." Malik closed the laptop. Outside, the sky was brightening. The truth was no longer quiet. And the chain had already been forwarded too many times to stop. The room was full before Malik arrived. Not the boardroom this time. A smaller conference space. Glass walls. No place to hide. Employees filled the chairs. HR stood near the door. Legal sat along one wall with laptops open. This wasn't quiet anymore. Malik felt it as soon as he stepped inside. Richard sat alone at the far end of the table. His shoulders were stiff. His eyes darted when Malik entered, then dropped. The chairwoman stood. "This is a formal review," she said. "Not a discussion. Not a negotiation." She looked around the room. "We are here to address conduct," she continued. "An impact." Richard cleared his throat. "I've said this was a misunderstanding." The chairwoman turned to him. "We're past that." A screen lit up behind her. An email appeared. Then another. Then another. Highlighted phrases glowed on the glass wall. Tone problem. Difficult. Made people uncomfortable. Whispers spread through the room. "These words appear repeatedly," the chairwoman said. "Always attached to the same type of employee." Richard shifted in his seat. A woman from legal spoke. "We reviewed termination data from the last 3 years." She clicked the remote. A chart appeared. Black employees were terminated for behavioral issues at 4 times the rate of others, she said. Silence hit hard. Richard shook his head. That's not. The chairwoman raised a hand. Let her finish. Another slide. Performance reviews did not support those terminations, legal continued. Including Mr. Carter's. Malik felt his chest tighten. This wasn't about him anymore. A man from compliance stood. We also reviewed witness statements. He looked toward the chairs. Anyone who submitted a statement may speak, he said. No one moved. The room held its breath. Then the woman from accounting stood. Her hands shook. I was told not to talk about Malik's firing, she said. Richard said it would confuse the team. Richard's head snapped up. That's not what. She kept going. He said Malik challenged him, she said. But Malik always spoke calmly. He just didn't back down. Another person stood. Then another. He warned us about being too friendly with Malik. He said Malik was watching him. He said HR was on his side. The words stacked. Heavy. Richard's face went pale. This is turning into a pile-on, he said. The chairwoman looked at him. No. This is accountability. She turned to Malik. Mr. Carter, she said. Do you have anything to add? Malik stood slowly. Every eye locked on him. I was fired for how I sounded, he said. Not what I did. He paused. That happens to people like me, he continued. All the time. The room stayed silent. I didn't raise my voice, Malik said. I didn't threaten anyone. I didn't break policy. He looked at Richard. But I didn't make him comfortable. Richard looked away. The chairwoman nodded once. This is not a misunderstanding, she said. This is a pattern. She turned to legal. Proceed. Richard stood suddenly. You're destroying my career over words. The chairwoman met his eyes. No. Your actions did that. Security stepped closer to the door. Richard looked around. No one met his gaze. Malik felt something settle in his chest. Not relief. Not victory. Clarity. The chairwoman spoke again. Effective immediately, she said. Richard is placed on administrative leave pending termination. Richard's mouth opened. No sound came out. And we will be issuing a public statement, she added, naming the issue. Richard finally looked at Malik. This wasn't supposed to go this far, he said. Malik's voice was steady. It always does. As Richard was escorted out, the room stayed quiet. No applause. No cheers. Just people sitting with what they'd allowed. The chairwoman turned to Malik. This won't erase the harm, she said. But it will change what happens next. Malik nodded. Outside, the glass walls reflected his face. Tired. Steady. Still standing. The email went out at noon. Not vague. Not careful. Direct. Malik read it on his phone while sitting on the same bench across from the building where he had been escorted away days earlier. Subject, leadership update. No soft language. No hiding. Following a formal investigation, Richard H. has been terminated for violations of company policy, abuse of authority, and discriminatory conduct. Malik read the line twice. Abuse of authority. Discriminatory conduct. They named it. Inside the building, the mood had changed. Doors were open. Conversations weren't whispered anymore. People spoke in full sentences. Richard packed his office alone. A cardboard box sat on his desk. He moved slowly, like every object weighed too much. A supervisor stood by the door. Silent. Watching. Richard picked up his nameplate. Turned it over in his hands. All this, he muttered. Over one employee. The supervisor didn't respond. Richard shoved the plate into the box. His hands were shaking now. His phone buzzed. A message from a colleague he thought was a friend. I can't talk anymore. HR warned us. Richard exhaled sharply through his nose. Figures, he said to the empty room. Downstairs, employees gathered in small groups. Did you see the email? They actually fired him. They said why? For the first time, Malik's name wasn't followed by rumors. It was followed by facts. Malik's phone rang. It was Denise from HR. We wanted to inform you personally, she said. Your termination has been reversed. Malik closed his eyes. I'm not coming back. I understand, Denise said. We're offering a settlement. Keep it, Malik replied. Use it to fix the system. There was a pause. We're also revising management training, Denise said. And reporting structures. Malik looked at the building. Make it real. We will, she said. The call ended. Inside the elevator, Richard stood with his box. The doors closed. No one spoke. The ride felt long. When the doors opened, a security guard gestured toward the exit. "This way," he said. Richard stepped outside. The sunlight was too bright. Across the street, Malik watched him emerge. Their eyes met. Richard stopped. For a moment, Malik saw something new on his face. Not anger. Shame. "This didn't have to happen," Richard said. Malik didn't raise his voice. "It always happens." Richard shook his head. "You ruined everything." Malik stepped closer. "No. You built it." Richard looked away. A reporter across the street lifted a camera. Richard turned and walked faster. Malik stayed where he was. The building behind him stood tall. Glass and steel. Clean on the outside. His phone buzzed again. A message from Darius. "It's done." Malik typed back. "For him. Not for me." He watched the people go back inside. Watched the doors slide shut. Justice didn't feel loud. It felt heavy. Like something finally placed where it belonged. The city felt different after everything ended. Not quieter. Not kinder. Just honest. Malik walked through the park near his apartment as the evening settled in. Kids ran past him, laughing. A couple argued softly on a bench. Life moved forward without ceremony. He wished that surprised him. His phone stayed silent now. No alerts. No urgent requests. No meetings. The quiet felt earned, but it didn't feel free. He sat on a low wall and let his hands rest on his knees. They were steady again. That part mattered. A woman walked by with a stroller. She smiled at him. Normal. Easy. Malik smiled back, then felt the ache behind it. Some things don't show on the outside. Darius joined him a few minutes later, holding 2 coffees. "You look lighter," Darius said, handing one over. "I don't feel lighter," Malik replied. Darius nodded. "Yeah, that tracks." They sat in silence for a while. "They are calling it a win," Darius said finally. "Online. In the papers." Malik stared at the water. "Wins don't keep you up at night." "No," Darius said. "But losses don't change policies." Malik took a slow breath. "I replay it. The office. The word tone." "That's trauma," Darius said. Malik nodded. "I know." He thought about the woman from accounting. The way her hands shook. The risk she took. He thought about the guard at the desk. The pause before the batch slid back. He thought about all the people who never get the meeting. Never get the email. Never get their name cleared. What happens now? Darius asked. Malik considered the question. "They asked me to join a task force," he said. "Oversight. Accountability." Darius smiled. "Of course they did." "I said yes," Malik added. Darius raised an eyebrow. "You sure?" Malik looked up. "If I don't, they'll forget why it mattered." Darius nodded slowly. "That's fair." Across the park, a man argued with a parking officer. Voices sharp. Hands raised. Malik felt his chest tighten without warning. His body remembered before his mind did. He stood. "You okay?" Darius asked. "Yeah," Malik said. "Just reminding myself where I am." The argument ended. The officer walked away. The man cursed under his breath. Life moved on. Malik sat back down. "They'll say this proves the system works," Malik said. Darius scoffed. "Does it?" Malik shook his head. "It proves it reacts. After damage." They finished their coffee. As dusk settled, Malik checked his phone one last time. A message from an unknown number waited. "I saw what you did. It gave me courage." "Thank you." Malik stared at the words. He didn't reply right away. He let them sit. The cost of speaking up wasn't just losing a job. It was carrying the moment with you. Every room. Every tone. Every silence. But the cost of staying quiet was heavier. Malik stood and headed home. Tomorrow, there would be meetings. Forms. Arguments dressed as progress. But tonight, he let himself breathe. Justice didn't erase the wound. It named it. And sometimes, that was enough to let healing begin.